2 days. So Madison says, well, what are your intentions? This isn't September. We explain to them, well, we don't want to knock the building down. We want to rehab it. We want to put in tenants. We want to fix it up, all storefronts for businesses and laundromats, cleaners, bakeries, a whole list of things. He was impressed. But at this point, we're only 2 days into this, or Robin's entity. And I'm thinking, well, it's a good plan, and there was some paperwork around here from the previous owners. But again, the greed factor is what drove them out. People trying to do things like not pay the taxes and try to buy it, but didn't have the money, or whatever little games they wanted to play. Anyway, Robin's seen a gentleman outside taking pictures one day. Went out and talked to this gentleman. He was a student from the University of California. Now, we're getting her side, and I don't know a lot of names. This student was here on a weekend work pass. Not a weekend work pass, but a weekend tour of pictures of old buildings, historical buildings. Well, he chose the Packard plan. Robin brought him in. We let him make photocopies of pictures and different documentation, and he took it back, and the university called us, and Kyung Park, who was supposed to be the architect of the 20th century, came in to University of Detroit, University of Southern California. The deans came in, met with us. That was one entity that came in. What they want to do is build homes off of the railroad building. We have a set of railroads going into. What they like to do is build prefab homes there, using people of the community to work there to sell them homes at cost, and then taking and selling the houses across the country, across Detroit, then the country, as prefab homes. Wonderful idea, wonderful concept. Just one. Another gentleman calls me, wants to come and have a meeting. His name is Prince Louis. At the time, I'm thinking, the Prince, you know. Prince Louis comes in as not what I expected, by no means. He came in. He's a man who has a program implemented that he would like to put in place. Basically, his program is, the entity that I understand is taking people who are on welfare assistance and taking them to welfare assisted programs and teaching them vocational. Now, I also own a school on the next street, which I told Mr. Lewis he could have in connection with his program. Now, under his program, there are plenty of grants, same as the grants for university, because of what they're doing. The university would like to vitalize the area, so would Prince Louis. The hardest time I have here with everybody who's connected with Robin's area is they all want to blossom the whole city. They are so engulfed in this, and it's just off of the Packard, it can grow. They want to put parks up here, different things for the community, helping out, homes, new construction, prefabbed home, and it just goes on. Well, Prince Louis's program, basically what he does is he's going to teach things like carpentry, brick and block, masonry work, glass work, roofing, in which there are grants available for his use. He will teach people who are on welfare, which is exactly what our Governor Engler would like to see happen, to bring people on welfare as people in the community who have jobs, who are a function of our society. So what his program does, we'll teach them how to, say, for example, lay blocks. They will come in and lay blocks and build the Packard. Direct costs of the city of Detroit, zero. We have private funding already set in place to revitalize this project. There are the grants. There are just so many entities who are willing to come together for this. It's unbelievable. Well, every day something new happened on Robin's end of this. As I told you, I was working on a building, and people come with different ideas and different plans. Basically, it grew itself. It grew to a city within a city, if you will. They have everything here from lawnmower repair to roofers to carpenters and bakery, and then our security company, Viper Security, which we got a lot of bad press about because they dress in camouflage, which is no big deal, it's a dress. They're doing a Wayward program now out of the school because of the attention we got here, which is a good program for the youth, as I stated earlier. We, in return, the school I put up. I own a school outright through our company. The school is there for teaching assistant programs, teaching young wayward kids, just teaching in general as a good community-based start point. We've since met with reverends of the area, church coalitions, different groups who are all like excited about this whole program. But we have a couple obstacles in our way, which is planning development, who wants to demolish for greed. I'll step down. As I said earlier, I want to see this project grow. This project can employ 10,000 people. Not 500, not 1,500, which is Budco's maybe maximum. Forgive me, I get upset when I talk about this. But 10,000. 10,000 people. Now, keep in mind, here's a guy who comes in and says, I'm going to learn brick and block. And one of the agreements that I have with everybody, and I pretty well stated this to everyone, I will not use contractors on this building who are outside of Detroit and Wayne County. Absolutely not. You have to be registered in the city of Detroit or Wayne County to be eligible to bid on any work here that's going to outside labor or outside workforce. The programs are here for welfare recipients in the city of Detroit, in this direct community. I want them to prosper. I was born in Detroit. I've lived there all my life. I've done a lot of studying and a lot of questions as to my background. I haven't disclosed to people who I've worked for. The press being, I will disclose it privately. My investors, there are several large investors who are backing this program, who will step up with the money in the event Prince Louis cannot pull his end together. The university cannot pull their entity together. Don Summers, he's also attended in the building today. He has a group called the Packard group. They're also on the internet. Go about the third one down, you'll find them. Every day they have daily bulletins. In this group, what they do is they restore old Packard cars. Well, the Packard group and some of their entities want to redo the old showroom back to original. Their cost. One of the other entities Robin brought on, you want the Motor City? We have the Cadillac Museum in Ohio has agreed to relocate to here as another entity that nobody knew about. There's other things like that that we didn't want to tell people, you know what I mean? It's kind of like these are entities that Robin worked hard on. With the police knocking her down, it's taken a lot of her stride. She's done a wonderful job putting this together. People in her program, such as Mama Isle, have come aboard. She has the name of her facility?
The Cabaz Cultural Center.
The Cabaz Cultural Center. Again, another organization for re-educating, is the proper word, welfare recipients and making them pillars of the community. Bringing them around where they're self-sufficient without dependencies. I thought that was our whole program here. I thought that was the same program for the empowerment zone. You're trying to suppress and depress again. I don't think that's how we want to go. I mean, this is the 90s. We're real close to the year 2000. We need a new attitude, folks. It's not theft. It's not so much you can scam off the deal. I've sold a lot of real estate in my life. And one of the things I used to always say was, I wanted to make $1 million. And my ex-wife will vouch for this. I would buy a house in Detroit, and I would sell it. The only problem was I tried to make $1 million with it. It never worked. I found myself really not doing a lot of sales, not doing a whole lot of much. I decided one day to give it up. Just, wasn't in the cards. Well, lo and behold, I started doing transactions that were phenomenal. Because I wasn't trying to suck them dry. And I think that's what politicians ought to learn. And people in high positions, like planning and development, or because there's $667 million for demo, why not take that money and use it for different places? This place has fought, like I said, in 2 world wars, two different car manufacturers. We're Khan's first building. How much history do you need? You keep a fort on the Detroit River. Why? Because of a war? Okay. What about all the people that work there? What about the tens of thousands of jobs? What about people who call me daily and say, my dad worked at that plant, or my grandfather, or my grandmother, or I remember coming here to Christmas parties when Packard owned it. Again, the groups of people that just call and come here, it's amazing. Robin gets calls from a gentleman who runs Packard Motor Coach, Mr. Burns. He's written letters to the governor, the mayor, everything about this. Response? People don't like to send letters back because they're too busy, for whatever reason. I'm not here to attack the politicians. Am I mad? Yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad because they're trying to steal money. I'm mad because you got gang squad at my door when I'm trying to do something great for the community. I'm mad as hell about that. I think that what you need to do is the city needs to wake up. Now, if we're doing this for real estate right now, we got gambling coming in here, folks. What are you going to do when gambling gets here? You got the mob here in real estate right now. Somebody's controlling all this, and somebody's calling it. In the Italian community, I think they call that the Don. Okay? That's in other words, the head dog. Well, I don't know who it is in Detroit, because I can't point fingers, because half of them won't talk. They say the famous no comment. Well, next time your kids ask you a question, look them in the face and tell them no comment. When they ask you to educate them about sex, tell them no comment. Or drugs, say no comment. Or the future plan of Detroit, no comment. You know what, people? You're wearing shutters. Somebody's covering up some stuff here. I've exposed everything to everybody. It may cost me my life. I've been scared. I've been upset. There's another tape where I'm real upset. I've since this place, I've done a will. I've also done a will with this corporation, and I have news for you politicians. I've willed this whole place to the people of this project. My attorneys will be here today to draft up a will in the event of my death. This project's still going on. I'm not the only owner no more. It's split between everybody in the event of my death. So that means you're going to have to deal with people like Prince and Robin and Mama Io and Kyon and my maintenance guys. What I told you earlier, great guys. So I made sure that my will's got enough in there for everybody. That all become entities of this. I'm not here for the money. It's not that. It's, God, you're going to tear it down. When you tear this down, as I said in that article, 2 days before I got here, before I knew all this stuff about planning and development, okay? And I said, when you tear this place down, you tear down a piece of Detroit. Planning and development told if you will, Dixon from the Detroit Free Press, Mr. Dixon, that they had no intentions of tearing this building down, at least for the next few years. It was less than a year ago. Tenants here all got scared, but they covered it up. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. Well, they told my attorney, no. As a matter of fact, they told the Historical Society, no, we're not going to do that, at least 2 years. Well, you keep lying to people and you keep telling people different things. You have to come clean. These people have units up here. Their livelihood depend on all this stuff. So you have to come clean with them, at least be decent citizens. You're giving tenants in the middle of December. Christmas is 2 days away. You've evicted these people 2 days before Christmas. You want them out by February 1st. Planning and Development does. You put a gate around me. You've entrapped me in this place. For 2 months, I've lived in hell because of this. My children are in fear. They're feared to come here. I have special protection on my children coming and going from school. I've had death threats calling this office. I've had death threats on paper. I've called the state police. I called the FBI. I called the governor. By the way, my number's still the same. If you get a chance, call me. Just for the record, I'm still waiting for that call. Dennis Archer, I'm still waiting for your phone call too. I know you're a busy man, and I understand that, but my life means a little bit to me, and I'm scared shitless of you people. Now, all of this is for what? $20 million. Is it worth somebody's death? Well, maybe. Is it worth all this? How many lives you got to ruin to get that $20 million? Who gets the $20 million? How many welfare recipients is that for $20 million? How many mouths that feed? It has cost the city of Detroit, so do you people, the council, and whoever listens to this tape, realize I have 6 to 12 cops watch me 24 hours a day. Now, if you take out a pen, we'll do real simple math here. $30 an hour, because they're all on overtime here. It's not the regular job. So $30 an hour times 24 hours a day. So that's per man. So simplify it. 30 times 30 is 600. 600 times 10 is $6,000. Not counting the cars, all the other stuff they're gone. $6,000 a day for 45 days already. You realize that's over $200 and some thousand. Just police watching me. That doesn't count the fence. That doesn't count Fred Rotash running up and down there with his own little police force. He goes around serving eviction letters with 10 officers. I mean, this is just ludicrous. I've never, and it's unfortunate, and I am, and I do give my condolences to the officers who were killed and the ones who were shot. My sympathy, my heart goes out to their family, and I hope they pull through. Last month here, several officers in the city of Detroit have been shot, wounded, and hurt, and killed. And I look around here, and I see 12 officers in my lobby. Why weren't they out there helping? Why weren't they out there finding out who did this? Why weren't they out there making our streets safer? So we pay taxes for it, or the people of Detroit. So in other words, because a person on welfare, he doesn't get police, isn't right. Isn't right. Not for any amount of money. I'm sorry. Also keep in mind, as I explained before, when I called the state police, they wouldn't intervene. Then I called the FBI. Well, they wouldn't intervene because it's Detroit and it's their gang squad. So Robin gets an idea. Let's call Eternal Affairs. Robin's dad used to be a cop in the city of Detroit. When they brushed through that door, they took a big part of Robin's heart away. She's seen the side of the police that we've only heard about. And I mean, she's seen it firsthand, and she's scared shitless, and she believes that a lot of police are corrupt and bad, that they'll do anything. Officers were told to climb through my window here. Literally told to climb through the windows. Probably won't come on record and say that, obviously, but they were told. I have no reason to lie. Would I care? We called Eternal Affairs. Eternal Affairs knew we were going to call them. They suggested we call the city attorney. Same city attorney, the city we're suing for this happening to. So we are probably one of the only ones next to
Washington.
Yeah, Miss Washington, that doesn't have a police agency watching. She has an officer sitting in her lobby to this day. This happened quite a while ago. Now, they won't give her a C of O, and she cannot serve the theater, which is for the African American community. It's a theater for people who can't afford the big theater, if you will. It's well, we all can't drive brand new Lamborghinis. I mean, some of us have to drive Chrysler and GM, the big three cars, which means same thing in the theater business. We all can't afford to go to the Fox Theater, and we appreciate what you Illage did for this city, but it doesn't mean people have to die for it. It doesn't mean people have to lose their businesses for it or their heritage. One of the biggest factors, which I haven't told you, and I think this one's going to shock you. Do you know the Packard motor car plant was one of the founders for African Americans to be foremen and supervisors in the workplace? It's unknown to a lot of people, and if you check Detroit history, you will find pictures of what I'm telling you and articles. I have pictures in my office, which were a surprise for Mama Io, which she's probably going to see on this tape. We have foremen, supervisors, and back in that time, that was a bold move, but Packard was willing to do it. This plant has stood ground on a lot of issues, and a lot of support, and still today, we're fighting for the same causes. We're fighting for people's rights. Again, and I hope that all Robin's efforts, all of Prince Louis, the university, and everybody's efforts get to come through. There's so many people involved in this project who are scared of the city, who are scared of losing city contracts or state contracts. They really don't want to get involved. They don't want to go head to head. I am. Ask why? I have nothing to lose. What are you going to take from me? What can you possibly take from me? Any of them. You can kill me. Okay, short of that, you can't take nothing from me. What, some money? You can always make the money back. It's not a problem. The money I'm paying in attorneys, I can make that back. I'll recoup that. That's not a problem. You've already spent, the city of Detroit, for every dollar I've spent fighting this, I guarantee you guys have spent 10 to 20. Guaranteed. You have 10 attorneys working on this full time. And all the attorneys in the bars that drink together are all talking about it. I've got a couple attorneys working for me. You've got officers sitting in my lobby. I've got my maintenance guys who were here at the beginning anyway. We'll probably be here after we're all gone. You know, and I really wish that everyone would understand what we're trying to do is a wonderful project. Rob put a lot of effort into this project. I put a lot of effort into it. Prince Louis, Io, we have a communication expert, Patty, does phone communications, who want to install phones and pagers. And I'm a firm believer that in this plant, we can take a person from welfare, and I'll give you one example only, and take this person, teach him how to lay bricks and block, and become his own boss, own his own business, learn a vocational trade. Now we take him over. The unit he built during training, he now occupies as a tenant. Why? The rent's cheap, comparable to the suburbs. He could never afford that size space in the suburbs. It would wipe him out of business in his first year or two. Now he has economical space, which he can buy equipment, which his building can grow. His business can grow, I mean. Therefore, eventually, if he wants to move out of the city of Detroit, fine. That just leaves room for one more to do the same project. How this building hurts the city? It doesn't. How does it hurt the pockets of some politician? It does. And for that, people, I am real sorry that that's what we've sold out for. Me personally, I'm not quitting, but I do want to, for the tape and the record, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank certain city council members. I'm not going to say their names, for their input, for their involvement, for being opinionated enough to stand up. Brenda Scott, my heart goes out to you. You were very noble in wanting to know answers to questions that nobody answered. We all need answers to questions, and it goes back to no comment. You can't say yes or no if somebody tells you no comment. It's not a proper thought process, if you will. It's not a computing factor. It's unfortunate, and I hope that the people in the city of Detroit, or whoever sees this tape, understand we're doing a good thing here, and we're going to continue. If it doesn't work, for the record, there's a lot of things that have gone on here, and a lot of bad things. I don't believe the city has this power to do this to anybody. I've been violated rights. I've been violated what's called due process. There's a thing called an eviction versus kicking in a door. Planning development, I would think these guys would have some type of bachelor's degree, if you will, or some kind of college. I don't have a college degree. I have a high school degree. I have a real estate license. But I know that you can't kick in a door. You have to evict tenants. It's a 7-day notice. And then it goes to 30, and then you go to the courts. But keep in mind, I can't kick in doors. I wish I had the gang squad working for me. I'd buy up every building I could. Send them in or sit them in a lobby. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. That's mafia tactics. And if I was doing that with people I know, you would call me the mob, and I'd be arrested for racketeering. I think the city should be arrested. Everybody involved in it should be arrested and charged with racketeering. That's all this is. If you are a business person, there's a thing called the table of negotiations. Not the gun of a cop at your front door, waiting for tempers to flare and coming off gang stuff. Not lying to city council, telling them you knew nothing about demolition. When writing a contract you signed with Sam Fodell, dated at your council meeting on Wednesday, it says it on the last page. If you read your own minutes of the meeting, it's right in the contract. And the very last paragraph is what's called conflict of interest. If his son owns a demolition company that's knocking down the building, duh, it's called conflict of interest from an outside party, either directly or indirectly is the verbiage of your contract. I do believe that's directly and indirectly. Now, this is a contract which